Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, my colleagues. I hope you can hear me. I am Professor Sidat Yaffa. Those who don't know me, I'm the current Dean of the School of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences at University of the Gambia. And I'm very delighted to have been invited to speak on this auspicious occasion. AYA, African Youth Architects, on the belief to invest in our youth in education. I will take example from myself. My father and mother were farmers. They have never been to school. Western education they never had. They never sat in a classroom. But my father believed that education is the way out in this world. So for that reason, he supported me. I was the only son. I was the only child of his who he put in school. And with all his limited resources, he invested in me. And this is where I am today. I'm a full professor of agronomy. That's an excellent thing that my father has done. I am always thank him for that. And because of that, that has given me the courage to invest in youth, in Africa, in education, in skills training, because that is the only way out. I will elaborate on 6 points, 6 different points why I have contributed and I have supported AYA by providing financial assistance so that you can achieve your goals in educating African youth. The first one is the Sustainable Development Goals. Goal number 4, which is quality education. Every child, every youth, every African youth, every African child has a right to quality education. That being said, that education will pull the child and his or her own family out of poverty, out of abject poverty, and also it will enhance his or her living skills. That is very, very important. So that's why I have contributed in supporting financially AYA. I give you one example. I've been doing this since 2010, providing scholarships from my own personal funds to youth to get their bachelor's degree at the University of Gambia. This semester, I have funded 3, so I am funding 3 students to earn their bachelor's degree, 4-year program. I'm providing them scholarship. One is a young lady on chemistry, the other lady in development studies, accountancy, sorry, and 4 of them, another lady in accountancy, development studies, and another young guy in development studies. So this is what I believe in. I've been doing this since 2010, and I'll never look back, because I know that that will be my small contribution to the development of socioeconomic development of the Gambia. So quality education is paramount to me. So anything, any initiative geared toward attaining that quality education, I'll be in for it and I'll support it. Number 2, there is no time to lose. Sustainable Development Goals will end in 2030. So therefore, all of us have to put our hands together, come together, and support any educational and skills training initiative in Africa. For example, by 2030, average African youth will attain 32 years of age. And at that age, we want and we should support the African youth to be very productive, to be civilly engaged and taxpaying and support his or her own family. That should be the ultimate goal. In that way, the child or the youth will be moved, will pull him or her out of abject poverty. Number 3, gender equity. We have to be cognizant of gender balance in our endeavors to support youth education in Africa, especially in the Gambia. Generally, our young girls are seldom supported. I'm not saying they are never supported, but they are seldom supported education-wise because of the culture, because of the taboo that are attached to an educated girl. But I can assure you, I can tell you, here at the University of Gambia, we have classical examples. Young ladies, excellent, more brilliant than young guys. So that being the case, all of us have to move forward and support this AYA initiative so that we have gender equity that will lead to gender equality. Number 4, educating the African youth is good for business. Because if you look at, for example, Sariava Ranch, the business that I run in the Gambia, I have I have provided employment, and I continue to provide employment for some youth. But if you look at their level of education, it is very minimal compared to someone who has earned a bachelor's degree. You cannot compare the two. The one minimum with a bachelor's degree will be more productive on the job and will be more willing to have to lead a productive team work team and provide quality work, quality job, increased customer satisfaction. So that's the essence of quality education. For example, here on the at the University of the Gambia, under the renewable energy potentials in the Gambia project, we call it a REPGAM, REPGAM, of which I'm the current director. By 17th of December 2022, we will graduate about 100 youth on PV system, photovoltaic, that is solar system, installation, maintenance, and franchising, meaning those 80 students will graduate 17th of December 2022, and they will run their own businesses. They will either go on as sole proprietors or they will form small partnerships so that they provide that PV system services to Gambian youth. All in all, we have done this last year in 2021, where we have trained many Gambian youth under this project. So by 17 December 2022, we would have trained a total of 500 Gambian youth on PV system. That's laudable. That's a very good start, and that has taken a big bite in the job and unemployment line of the Gambia. So number 5, in terms of investing, why we should invest in youth education. If you invest in youth, you will be enhancing their problem-solving skills. They will be more pragmatic. They will be more relevant in solving problems on a daily basis, and they're creating jobs. You know, I talked about this PV system youth who we have trained. So those people will be job creators instead of job seekers. We have to run away, or we have to get away from this notion of job seekers. We should be job creators. So that is what is going to drive our economy further and faster. And also, there will be a leading change in whether it's going to be political change in Africa, especially in the Gambia, or it's going to be economic change in Africa or in the Gambia. So a trained and educated youth will be leading change in any aspect of the economy. And finally, Mr. Chair, when you educate youth, reason why I invested in AYA is that to help the youth get out of this gang stuff, to get out of these drugs. The reason, or one of the reasons why they get themselves in drug use or to be members of the notorious gangs is because they have lost hope in life. But if they are educated, if they earn their bachelor's degree minimum from a university system, so they will be highly employed, or they will create their own jobs to make money, to live a better life. I, as an example, when I was a youth, like I said, in summary, Mr. Chair, my parents invested, especially my father, invested in me because he told me that, son, this is the only way out in this world. Education. You have to get education. If you get education, you get quality life more than your mother and I have. So on that note, Mr. Chair, I thank you, all of you. Thank you very much for having me. Thank you very much for identifying me to come and speak to the youth around the world, especially in Africa, on this laudable initiative. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Yaffa. I know, like, the people that you have touched you have done extremely well, more than so how many people can do, because when you invest in someone's education, you basically saving their lives, you changing their life for a better. And now you have given them hope. So we want to thank you on behalf of the entire team of AYA and all the African youth. We'd like to thank you, and we need more people like you. I believe that if the more people we have who have the same mindset like you, the better our youth will become, and even the better our continent should be. So I think Fatu, she prepared a small question before we let you go.
Yep. So yeah, I have a small question, and Abdullah also will be adding another. So yeah, Professor, thank you so much for sharing this wonderful message with us. Some of you don't know that are watching us maybe different parts of Africa, but many people knows the impact that Professor Sidat Yaffa have on people. My cousin himself got a sponsorship from him to do his college degree, university degree in Gambia, but later told him that he already got funded by a different institution and told Professor that thank you, you could give this scholarship to a different person. So, Professor, one thing we would like to ask you here is like AYA Education Fund, we really believe that parental participation in education is really lacking. Your parents were not educated, but they still invest in you because they believe education is only the way out. In this project, we want to make sure parents are actively involved in the education of their children. How do we make sure these parents understand that education is only way out for their children to have a better earning?
Just
Professor.
increase the awareness raising. That's the only thing. Yeah, increase awareness raising. Continue awareness raising. It may not. You may not. It may not pay dividend in a short period of time, but in the long run, it sure will. So the more you talk to people about the relevance of educating their children, about the relevance of them investing and supporting their children and other children
Mhm.
to attain quality education, the more they will understand, the more they will appreciate. So, because knowledge is power. So, if people don't have knowledge, they seldom understand the relevance of the topic you're discussing with them. So, I would urge AYA to continue your awareness raising activities in Africa.
And my last question, technology is really developing currently. And during the COVID-19, we have the experience that Africa was not really prepared. The world was unprepared, but Africa is the worst. How do we make sure that the government knows that today more than ever, they should invest more in education in Africa? We will need this strategy too, because we believe that we cannot do it alone.
The how we can do it, I think universities in Africa have to take that lead. Universities in Africa have to actively participate in research to look at the relevance of technology in our lives and livelihoods. For example, currently during the COVID, when COVID started, University of the Gambia, we switched all our courses online. So that's great technology. That was the first time in the history of University of the Gambia to do that. So this has to continue. Even currently, at our last Senate meeting, no, the graduate board meeting on which I sit as a member, University of the Gambia graduate board meeting, it was discussed and agreed that we will minimize the number of visiting professors who come over here, let's say for 3 weeks up to 6 weeks, to lecture the students, give them exams, and go home. That's quite expensive. So what we have resolved at that meeting it was to introduce this technology or to continue using this technology, online classes, which is economically feasible and it's more sustainable than this one here. So the governments, it is the universities, the beacons of hope, the repository of knowledge in every African country. So it is the universities that should engage the government, especially the policy formulators, or draft some policies that look at the relevance of technology in our lives and livelihoods and engage the government
Yes.
officials and sit down with them and continue to raise their awareness so that they fully understand the relevance and importance of the technology in any aspect of our lives and livelihood.
Thank you so much, Professor.
Professor, I have one simple question. And by the way, before I ask my question, thank you for your
I hope
information.
it will
As
be
we all
simple
know,
though.
yeah, it'll be
Yeah,
simple. As we all know,
good.
each and every year we have thousands, hundreds of thousands of students graduating from African universities, either local or international. And when it comes to market demands, African youth are lacking the skills that the market are needed. So my question is, what are the skills that we need to teach our students, our kids, so when they come to the market, they can infiltrate and get opportunities easily? And my other question is schooling system even worth it? Thank you very much.
Yeah, the school system is worth it. It's worth it. No matter what happens, it is a number one priority as far as I'm concerned in anybody's life and livelihood. Because without education, they will continuously live in perpetual poverty. Without education, you will not be able to uplift other people, other members of your family. Now, going back to the question that you first raised or you first asked, um, how can we support our graduates who graduate in thousands every year in Africa? I'll give you one example in the Gambia. Almost every 2 years, we organize a graduation where we graduate over 1,000 students during those graduations, each of those graduations rather. So the most important thing at the university level should focus on technical training because all the time we're doing is theory training. Theory training with graduate students, they go out, they kind of create jobs for themselves. They don't have the skills to initiate new things on their own. All they are trained to do or all they are taught to do is to look for a job, which is not helpful in this day and age. So we have to train students in skills training. For example, skills training in renewable energy, skills training in business management, skills training in accountancy, skills training in chemistry and physics, all areas of education. So there has to be a greater component of skills training that will enhance the ability of our graduates so that when they go out, they don't have to think about looking for jobs, but they create some jobs. And also, the government has to come in, for example, in the Gambia, and it is very common in at least in the United States that I know of, business incubators. To set up business incubators where the government will provide seed money for new innovation from the students. These students who graduate, they could either individually apply for these incubation grants, or they can form partnerships amongst themselves and apply for incubation grants, come up with new innovations that the government or even the private sector or the government and the private sector in partnership can support those new initiatives. Look at Jalama, Mr. Hydra graduated and he started his own business. So that's a classical example. Yes, I am a full-time staff of University of Gambia, but I have my own business. I rely less on my university income per month. And I tell people, I don't hide that. A great part of my monthly income at University of Gambia, I just give it out as scholarship. I rely less on it because I have other areas. I have created job for myself where I have had people and I earn income. This is what I learned in the United States. I can remember before I close, Mr. Chair, on this particular thing, when I was doing my PhD, I have read close to 20 books on how to make money legally. I always train my students here. One time, my major supervisor, Professor came and saw me reading a book titled The Millionaire's Mind, meaning how millionaires think. So he said, "Oh, but Mr. Yaffa, then, do you want to be a businessman or do you want to be a scientist?" I told him, I want to marry both. I want to be a scientist and a business person, and that's what I'm practicing. So this is what we have to continue to train our students at university level before they graduate. Thank you.
Thank you.
Your mic is mute.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Thank
Wow, we are so inspired
Thank
today.
you very
We
much.
really would like to
Thank you very much, Professor.
thank you so much
you. Sure.
for your insightful answers. And we would like to shift the gears now, and then we also continue to invite you people. If you don't know how you would like to invest in education in Africa, we want to give you this platform. AYA is in Africa already. You don't need to go and start things from scratch. You can join us. You can support us. You can go to our fundraising platforms. We have our GoFundMe, and or you can go to our website, africanyouth.architect.org, and you will see we also have surprise for you for people that support this organization. So, and then talking about surprises and products, so we have somebody that we partner with, a wonderful person who is an entrepreneur but also who is thinking about Africa and all the time. Last year, I remember I hated myself because I couldn't make it to the Gambia to attend this event that you organized. That was really wonderful. You gave a platform um, uh, to young people to come together to discuss, but also to network. So, Tierno, we are happy to have you today on this podium, and then we'd like to give you the floor and to talk about Jarama, but also how Jarama is supporting AYA in this challenge.
So
Hello,
sorry,
everyone.
Mr. Chad. Before Chano comes in, with your permission,
Yes.
I want to make a pledge as of end of January 2023. Sorry, Chano. I'm going to contribute. I'm going to pledge 1,000 US dollars again for
Oh
AYA
my
as of
God.
end of
Oh my
January
God.
2023.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
It
very
couldn't be
much.
better than this.
Wow. Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much.
Thank
Thank
you.
Thank $1,000. People, you heard that?
You're
$1,000.
welcome.
$1,000.
1,000 US dollars.
Everybody
1,000
be
US
smiling
dollars.
right
Not
now.
Canadian dollars. US dollars.
$1,000.
I'm
Not
only
Congolese,
smiling, Fatu
not,
Kaila. I'm
not,
overwhelmed
not
with
Gambian,
joy.
US dollar.
Thank you, Dr. Yaffa. Fatu, you mentioned I'm smiling. I'm not always smiling. I'm overwhelmed with joy. Thank you, Dr. Yaffa, for helping us change generation to generation, creating generation wealth, breaking the curse of poverty, and that's the lack of knowledge. And like I said, knowledge is the power. If you don't have the power, your voice is lost. You lost hope. Thank you. Wow.
Wow.
You're
Amazing.
Just
welcome.
like that with no voice. That's a surprise, people.
Yeah, that's a surprise. Jarama, get ready. Big package.
That's a good
It's
challenge.
a gift bag.
Hi, everyone.